Before I take questions, I just want to give our thoughts and prayers out. It's been a difficult last 2 months to some degree in the National Football League for a lot of us. Obviously, we all know what happened with Dwayne Haskins. That's, lose a young man of his caliber, character, and person he was is difficult. And then for me personally, Stan Parrish, who was our quarterback coach in Tampa, we won the Super Bowl, longtime college coach, just passed away, along with Gary Brown, who I was with for 5 years in Dallas, longtime professional player and coach, and then the two officials. We lost Johnny Greer and we lost Wayne Mackey here in the last 2 months. So it's not to be a downer; it's to certainly celebrate life. But I always try to talk to our players, and I had a chance. We all visited with coaches the other day about QTL, quality time left in life, and to lose some young people and some guys that I've been with personally is always tough for everyone. So the National Football League is about a lot of things. Certainly perspective is one of them. With that, excited to be in Green Bay, and I'll take any questions you may have.
Rich, why come here?
Why come here to the Green Bay Packers? Yeah, the Green Bay Packers. For me personally, the opportunity to be at one of the marquee National Football League teams that sets a standard, has an expectation to play to that standard every day, along with my excitement and my new energy after meeting and visiting with Coach LaFleur, what he's done here in a very short period of time. It's unprecedented. He's all football. And, be back with Joe Barry, who I've been with before. We won a lot of games together at two different places. And again, just to be a part of a franchise that expects to win, and the standard is winning it all. And to be a part of something like that is, to me, is energizing.
Where do you start when you try to fix these special teams?
In the beginning, it's personnel related, it's scheme related, it's people. People make the difference, right? And if you can get good people at a great place, then magic can happen. So we're going to look in every nook and cranny to see what we can do to make ourselves better.
Have you looked at the film from last year and what needs to be fixed? I mean, how do you fix that?
Well, we're just going to improve everything every day. There's not one specific thing. I think everyone wants to look at one play, or two plays that happen in the playoff game. But you can go back over my career. I mean, we won a Super Bowl in 2002 and got a pump blocked in the game for a touchdown. So, but still won the game. So I think you can look at every game as a special teams coach. It's rare that you come out of the game and you pat yourself on the back and go, yeah, we had a hell of a game today. There's just too many plays. Things go on. So we're going to look to try to improve in everything we do every day.
What makes good special teams?
Makes good special teams?
Yeah, what are the elements that you need to be successful?
It's a philosophical start of we're going to try to put a unit together that cares about each other, that knows what to do, competes with relentless effort, and improves every day. And that's going to go along with what Coach LaFleur is trying to do with our team, but that's going to go along with the units that we're going to put out there on the field. They have to have an expectation that we have a one-play mentality. We don't get 3 downs to get it right. We have one play to make a difference, and they have to understand the significance and the criticalness of that particular play. And I think if we can get that across, we'll play better.
After getting the Raiders to the playoffs last year, what was your confidence level about maybe getting that job full-time? And I mean, did you think there was a good, strong possibility, or did you kind of know they were going to go outside?
I respect the question, and last year was a unique year in my personal career, and certainly with the players and coaches that went along with it. A lot of credit to the coaching staff I was involved with, and the way in which the players approached every day and what they dealt with. But I'm really, I'm here in Green Bay. I'm excited about what's happening here today.
Rich, you got 3 kickers right now. What's the plan there?
Yeah, just kind of see who's who and what's what as we get going. I haven't really had a chance to see the 2 of them. I know Dom pretty well. We had him for 2 years over there with the Raiders, and he's a good player. I know Crosby for a long time. He's had a hell of a career. Actually had him back in the Senior Bowl when he was coming out. So the one good thing I know about Crosby is that he's come back from a down year to play really well. So I'm excited about being around him, learning from him, seeing what his strengths are and where we can go forward and keep improving.
Have you ever had 3 kickers before, and how do you
kickers.
All those guys?
Well, we're fortunate. We're getting ready to have OTAs and some of those, practices where we get a chance to evaluate different kickers as we go through, and I don't think we'll go to training camp with 3. I think we'll go to training camp with 2 after I visit with, obviously, Brian and Coach LaFleur and see how that goes. But I'd like to see all 3 before we make a decision on one of them.
What you like about what Keyshawn did for you with the Raiders?
Yeah, Keyshawn's he's just a really good teams player. He's got a great mentality. He's fast. He's physical. He don't take any from anybody. He can really run. So I'm excited about Keyshawn being part of the Packers. Can't say that, can I?
Matt was talking about you at the league meetings a couple weeks ago. He used the words "fiery dude" to describe you. Has that always been kind of a part of your coaching approach, and how much does it help, if at all, on special teams in this?
I appreciate all the kind words from Coach LaFleur. I'm just kind of short, bald, and Italian, and then maybe that makes me mad at everybody. I don't know, but again, I'm excited to be, with Coach LaFleur. I can't wait to get up in the morning and coach football. Right, it's just what I've done for so long. It's a way of life for me as well as it is for the other coaches here. And as far as special teams go, again, I kind of live in a one-play mentality world myself, so I'm just really concentrating on the moment and being where I am and seeing what we can do, what I can do, what all our players can do to improve every day.
Do you go back and watch special teams tape from last year, or do you just want a fresh start with all the guys go in doing nothing?
I did. We watched all the games, but we also watch all the games from all the teams in the league. We kind of go through cut-ups of all the things that happen around the league, and certainly we did that with the team that we have here as well to kind of put some type of evaluation on not so much the scheme, but kind of the effort that guys have played with, and kind of some of the fundamentals and techniques that we all use around the league, how they did with some of those things. But we watched all the tape.
Why did you become a special teams coach?
Oh, that's kind of a deep question. I think in the beginning, when I first started coaching, after I get done playing, I played teams. Back then we played teams, played both ways, but as you first start coaching, they kind of split it up. So the running back coach would have the kickoff return team, and the linebacker coach would have the kickoff team. And so at some point, I've been a part of all of it, like most coaches are. And then at South Carolina, I think Sparky Woods had gotten to the point where he thought one coach being in charge of the special teams, as he had an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, although they had assistants with them, I think he felt like if one coach was dedicated to doing that and coming up with the schemes, it would have a better sense of detail, a better sense of, maybe progression, how you install an offense, how you install a defense. So that's where it first started for me. He gave me that job, and it was at the time when, I don't know if you remember, Frank Beamer was the coach of Virginia Tech, and they were blocking punts, and he was the head coach, and it started to become a big deal in college football. And then all of a sudden it took off in the NFL. There was less position coaches that were coaching special teams. It was more hiring special teams coordinators to just do special teams. And when you do that, now you're just watching all that film all the time. It becomes extremely specialized. It becomes detailed. The schemes can change from week to week. And so it just happened that the next job I got at Clemson, South Carolina, I was special teams coordinator and coach running backs. And then went to Ole Miss, and the same thing. It just kept becoming a part of my resume, I guess. And then just one day I got a call about coaching special teams in the NFL. I never thought about getting into the NFL. I never tried to get in the NFL. I'd gotten a call one time from a team in the NFL to interview for the job, and that's kind of how it happened. I actually got the job, and 2 days later I left and went back to Clemson. So that tells you anything. But
Is it a thankless job?
no, I don't. We're just coaching football. We're not curing cancer, or we're all coaching football, and we all have a certain zeal for players. And we have a certain zeal for competitiveness. We have a certain zeal for detail. And so I just feel like I'm a teacher. I just happen to be teaching football. I happen to be fortunate enough to, be doing my passion every day. I think it was my dad, along with probably everybody else's dad in the room, that said, if you can go to work and enjoy what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life. So I've been fortunate to do that for the last 39 years.
You said you were looking forward to getting together with Crosby and learning from him. Is that a common trait for you or coaches in general?
I think for me, being in the National Football League, way back when, I'm going to learn from players. I think when I watch tape and we watch, I want to ask them, coach me up here. What were you thinking here? Whether it was good or bad, I need to know what they see as well. Coaching running backs for a long time, I think the common mistake is maybe I'm telling them where to run, I'm telling them where the hole is and those type of things. I think you have to ask them what they see, and I'd like to know Mason's routine and what's been working well for him and what does he think he'd like to change. And then I'm going to explain to him again what our routine has been and what's been successful for us, and hopefully we can get a mix in there that can not only make him but the other players as well successful at what they're trying to do.
You mentioned the block punt in the Super Bowl, but you've had a lot of success as a special teams coordinator overall. Obviously, you've built quite a reputation for yourself. Why do you think you've had the success that you've had?
Well, I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good players and a lot of players that have bought into the 4 things I gave you earlier, and a lot of players that have been excited about playing professional football for a way of life, and so it's really just, it's player driven. It's certainly an opportunity to teach football and maybe teach some life lessons and maybe get guys to find a way to be the glue to the offense and defense. We use a phrase around here about we-fence. It's not really offense, it's not really defense, it's kind of we-fence, it's us. There's no other place on the field except the punt team where you could find a linebacker lined up next to a tight end, lined up next to a safety, and the running back is the personal protector making all the calls. That's the only place you find that on the field. There's offensive players, there's defensive players. When you get to the punt team or kickoff, or players from offense and defense line up next to each other. So I think a lot of my success or the success we've had in special teams, places I've been, is really player driven.
How do you feel about having a veteran?
Hold on, go ahead.
How do you feel about having a veteran punter like O'Donnell?
Yeah, we're real excited about being able to add Pat. I tried to get him 4 years ago when I first went to Oakland, and it didn't work out. And now that he was available this year, Coach LaFleur and Goody were great about our conversations about seeing what we could do to try to get him. He's been a proven player, not only in the league but in this division. He's played real well in bad weather. He's played outside his entire career. He's a tremendous athlete, wonderful holder. And his job at holder is to make everybody right. He's got to make the snapper right. He's got to make the kicker right. And so he's done that for a long time. He's been with good kickers, and he's been with good snappers. So I'm real excited about having him part of our team.
Sorry, Rich, 11 stars on offense, 11 stars on defense. Do you feel you need 2, 3, 4 guys that, aren't getting a lot of snaps on those sides of the ball to be kind of your stars and guys that really just take the bull by the horns?
The star syndrome is great. I just think we need players. We need to get some players in here that we can have good competition at all the positions, whether they're playing linebacker or running back or receiver or whatever it is. And we'll find a group of guys that make up, the initial core. For us, it all starts at the punt team. You got to find those 6 guys that can play in the box, from tackle to wing on both sides, and then the personal protector that can direct them and all be on the same page. And then from there, those guys can usually fan out to play the other 3 phases that we need them to play in. But we've got to be able to put a punt team together that can protect the punter and then transition right into becoming a team that sets the defense. It's my favorite thing about punt team. It's the most transitional play in all of football, right? It covers the most yardage, but you're an offensive player first. You have the ball, so you're protecting the punter behind you, who essentially that's your quarterback. And right away, it transitions into a defensive play. You have to fan the field. We're a one-gap team, and you have to understand how to leverage the returner, and you got to set your defense now. And that's kind of how we approach the whole thing, but it starts with the punt team players.
When you're inheriting a group that had the kind of season that they had last year with not any success, is there got to be a mentality change, or just enough to keep it on the schematics? Do you have to change the mentality in the room as well?
Well, I just think that within the construction of Coach LaFleur's philosophy, and then the 4 things I gave you about what we'll expect our unit to look like, that's what we're going to try to do. So if you want to call it a mentality, it's a one-play mentality. And if you want to call us a unit, we'd like to think of ourselves as a we-fence unit. And what makes up the we-fence unit, those guys got to learn to care about each other. They got to know what to do, and they got to do what they know. They got to compete with relentless effort, and they got to find a way to improve every day. And that's just, there's going to be a standard set, just like there is for our offense and our defense. There's going to be an expectation from us that we're going to hold them to the standard. And I'd like to think that they're going to set a standard for us, for our little core of teams coaches, and I'm going to expect them to hold me and to hold Mike and to hold Byron to that standard as well every day. And we'll see where the chips fall after that.